trust me, come with a real. You hip in the front seat, get my meals, I'm gunning for the money. Money in the bank, coming with a dank. Skrilling that tank, rolling with the gang. You sick and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin. Yeah. I'm okay.
So before we start, we have to address some pretty serious allegations. Eazy sent Chris 2 thumbnails created by AI to choose. One of them where we're all white and one of them where we're all black. And Chris picked the one where we're all black. So, I mean, it just...
I appreciate it.
Doesn't beat the allegations.
Because it allows me to be allegations.
This guy's Spencer, dude. He rehearsed it the whole time.
I just thought of it because it literally just happened.
Think of it because it just happened. That's very impressive. But I don't know. I'd rather be the brown one because you could be tan.
Yeah,
you know?
That's fair.
Me too,
I don't want to be. I can't. I'm not that. You know, I'm not the other one. I asked.
Are you closer to that than I am to that? I think, right?
No.
You're halfway there. I'm not 0% of the way there.
Yeah, but you could get a tan. I mean, it's not like it's full. It was like a tan.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
thumbnail we're talking about. If you guys are confused,
AI they couldn't get past that part.
I asked it because it did the white one originally, and I was like, okay, well,
damn it.
Can you make the left guy
brown?
Hey,
so AI's not about diversity, huh? You're staying with your race.
Hey, this is easier for the dude. Yeah, I was like, can you make the left one brown? And it just made us all brown. So, you know, you guys welcome. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, shout out.
You know, shout out. Happy Turtle Day.
It feels bigger.
It feels bigger. Happy Turtle Day,
Happy
everybody.
Turtle
Happy Turtle Day to Darren McCarty, legendary friend of mine. Legendary friend of ours, I should say. I apologize.
Yes.
That's the dopest part about him is like, as much of a legend as he is, he could be buddies with anybody. It doesn't matter from what walk of life you come from. I was kind of taken back at the very first started working here, either the first year or second year. And I was like, what are you doing for your birthday? I was going to take him out to dinner or something like that. And he was hanging out, partying with Trick Trick. Like D-Mac was like in the hood with Trick Trick just smoking fucking fat doinks.
Oh, yeah, dude.
For his birthday. Trick Trick made a joint that said happy birthday D-Mac on it for D-Mac. Today he celebrates harder than his birthday. Oh, it's Turtle Day, so happy Turtle Day, Darren McCarty.
Arguably the most iconic day in the history of Detroit sports. I don't know if it's even arguable.
I think it is the most iconic day in Detroit sports.
It's just amazing, man. Yeah, and D-Mac that's where he got his title, the Minister of Accountability. Like he held Claude Lemieux accountable for doing what he did to Chris Draper, and he wanted to punch a hole through that guy's face, and he damn near did. And then he kneed his head against the boards and splattered the blood all over the Comerica Bank sign.
Nice.
Dude, D-Mac's the man. One of the realest people you'll ever meet in your entire life. I'm extremely glad that I've grown, to be such a close friend of his, and love that guy, man. He deserves everything.
He's the fucking man.
Shout out, Turtle Day.
And happy birthday, J-Mo.
Happy birthday, J-Mo.
J-Mo shares. We should have known he was going to be a Lion, man.
That's true. Yo, this is shout out to Loom.
Shout out to Loom.
Shout out.
Like with the gift bag here.
Loom hooked it up.
Usually I partake on the way in. I haven't. Right before, when I get here, I should say.
They gave it. Loom is one of our newest sponsors, Loom Cannabis.
Sponsor.
So make sure you guys hit them up. They came through and hooked it up. They got these Buzzin' THC seltzers. I'm gonna chug one of these tonight when I'm streaming. Got us all our individual little Benjamins.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
They gave us like 20 joints, like a couple grams of flour, a big ass thing of edibles. Shout out to Loom for hooking it up, man.
This is rosin?
Yeah. Oh yeah, live rosin, dude.
Okay.
That's what I live by now.
That's the best. That's my favorite.
It's top tier.
That's what I prefer.
Yeah, they gave us some infused joints, some regular joints, little dog walkers, little, like three hitter joints.
I apologize, chat. I just now got this gift back, so I'm checking it out.
Yeah, they hooked it up.
Pretty dope.
Yeah.
I mean, free weed makes your boy happy, and they got
free weed makes everybody
every
happy.
product, man.
And if you guys want to make someone happy, go to Loom, buy them some weed, and give it to them for free.
Yeah, these THC indica gummies it's literally called Dream here. It's 5 milligrams, and this is just amazing. If smoking's not your go-to, would rather take edibles, or just something you want to ingest that's easy, boom, take a little 5 milli, watch kick back,
Yeah.
go out, do whatever you want to do. But Loom is the way to go. Shout out Loom. They absolutely hooked it up, crushed it today.
You guys know these Benjamins. I've been swerving off the Benjamins for a while now. The coolest thing about this one is it's got a preheat setting. So you tap the button 3 times, and it preheats it. So, like, when your pen gets clogged, you don't have to suck it like Sydney Sweeney. Like, you can just, it just naturally heats up the oil that's already in there, so it never gets clogged. I thought that was really cool.
Dude, we got the packs of the pre-rolls.
Yeah, packs of pre-rolls.
The pre-rolls.
Oh, yeah, dude.
The infused pre-rolls.
They hooked it up.
Liquid diamond. The rosin. The rosin's where it's at. That's like the most purest form of THC you can consume.
The rosin's goated for sure.
And it's the cleanest high to me, in my opinion. Welcome to World Heavyweights live on WoodSports.com. We're Eazy, joined by Small Reaction, Chris, Nicholas Koloff. Smash the like button, be a friend, tell a friend. I got a question for
How
you
much
guys.
for Chris to hit the John F. Penalty?
Dude, these pen nicknames are fire.
Dude, I
Smoke
love it.
weed
It's
every
one of my
day.
favorite memes ever.
Yes.
It's like me after a couple blinkers off the Benedict Cumberbatch, and it's like somebody dancing.
What's our super chat goal of the day? That'll be the
Oh,
first
that's
one.
a good one.
There we go. Yeah, super chats for Chris. I don't know. It's for you. We don't want to lowball you again.
All right, this one I'm okay with lowballing. This one This is a lot better to
And before you
lowball.
get crazy with it, Chris, this is legal. You know?
It is legal, and dude. Shout out to them.
No,
There's literally these are sweet.
Well,
I
I'd say
can't
if
wait to try
we
this.
get 50 in the
$50,
50 in
Chris will rip the
chat.
Benjamin. There we go.
Yeah.
How many for Nick taking edible? Do we want Nick on the edible?
Smoke
I want
weed
it.
every day.
I'll do it for, you know what? I'll stick with Chris. $50, and me and Chris are getting stoned in studio off the great
Booth
Loom
Boys.
cannabis products.
There you go, Booth
Let's
Boys.
go,
the
Loom
Bud
Boys.
There you
Bud
go.
Boys.
Hey Brady, pitch them for some more money. They can sponsor the booths. They can
Yes.
be the Bud Boys instead of the Booth Boys.
The Bud Booths.
Exclusive booth sponsorships. You can put their graphic right up on the cameras. Bud Boys.
Little bud right here.
Bud Boys, presented by Loom Cannabis. Just
Loom
a
Cannabis.
little graphic you'd put up in the corner. Mm-hmm. They used to, remember when we had the
Yeah.
8 Mile Vodka
Yep.
fish cam?
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah. I like it too, and I'm glad I hit this before I brought this conversation up. Last night we all rode, except for Chris. Unless you put in a parlay afterward.
No, because
yeah.
I didn't use Caesars. That's my fault. I didn't use Caesars.
Yeah, you
so I
should've used
could've bet-
Caesars.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I could bet on
There's your fault.
Ron Howard.
But we all took Ron Howland over 8.5.
Yeah.
He had 8 points on the dot. I mean, how we feeling? I mean,
I
he
only
gave
put
us a
$5.
tease.
I only put $5 on it.
You know me, I typically only put $5.
Yeah.
I put 15.
Oh!
Oh my God, that's 5
units.
Oh, Maron.
I put 3 units, which for me, a unit is $50 for me. So I put 3 units
Don't give away
buddy.
your units.
on, I mean,
All right.
I put it on Riley Green to go over 21.5 home runs. And that was the rest of the money I hadn't pulled out yet. So I only have $5 left. So I just put that on Ron Howard.
I mean,
And that was right before the show. Shout out Caleb. He hit me up. He's like, dude, get in on this. I was like, all right.
I should have known better, I guess. I got more disappointed in myself. I was the one making fun of the people running around here screaming, Bronny, oh, he's here to stay. He's the NBA guy.
Bless you.
Bless.
And Greg, I guess you were on the Ron Howland stuff before, but like, I don't know. I guess I should have known, like, this is not anything to do with like long-term goals, by the way, too, or long-term
Yeah,
projections.
where are you
Yeah,
going
this on
here?
dude's everything.
I should have
he
known
just-
that, like, expect him to have back-to-back big games. It was not going to happen.
I don't know if over 8.5 is a big game. I think that was a pretty reasonable thing to
That
expect.
was a lock, though. I put 15 on it.
Yeah, I mean,
My unit is $5.
that's what happens sometimes.
3 units.
But the team won. They blew them out, so
Look.
they're blowing them out the whole game.
Which you should have got more minutes.
I'd give Fontecchio the blowout minutes. I want Ron in the game when it matters.
Get around the developmental minutes. He just needs to be in there.
I did a separate one where it was all Tobias. It was like 4 Tobias things,
All Tobias.
and then Duran, and all of it hit except for the Duran part. I did combined 25 points plus rebounds. So all he's got to do is a little 13 to 12, little 20, like whatever.
Yeah.
But couldn't do it. Fucking
Yeah.
pissed.
I gotta say, I thought it was a lock after he put up 6 points in a matter of 2 minutes to get to 8 before the fourth quarter. If I'm not mistaken.
had me dying last night.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm going out to grab some ice cream. This bet's gonna hit, like, little extra cash. So yeah, the bet didn't cash.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
And
Jo-
technical difficulties, by the way. That was some hosh. I couldn't even watch
what
half
is
that game.
up with-
Also, it said it was on Channel 7. I got YouTube TV. It wasn't. I was watching fucking Mayor Mike Duggan.
announced that that Detroit's
Final
getting the
Four in
Final Four.
27.
Congratulations.
2027 Final Four in Ford Field. That's
Yep. That is dope.
cool.
Last
Real
time
quick,
they were here, Michigan
Jo-
State, North Carolina.
Yeah. Jonathan Lord in the Woodward Sports Chat says, are the heavyweights allowed to rip bongs in the studio? I mean, you're not on Fox 2. We are at a place of business, though.
Yes.
So bongs, no, that's a little aggressive. We rip
Crack
the pen.
pipes,
I rip
maybe.
the pen I smack the pen all the time because it doesn't
Smack that.
'cause it doesn't smell. I mean, we've smoked in the studio plenty of times, but
Don't text me, I'm
normally
sizzling.
after the place of business is closed.
I've never done such things. I've respected this premises.
I've
Please don't murder
I've
me.
smoked hella blunts in this studio.
Oh,
on-
yeah, we did after the
On
Lions
camera,
playoff game.
yeah, everybody knows we did. It's just the business is closed by then. So
The business. Yeah, Ron Holland, poop night.
poop night.
And only 18 minutes played.
Don't care. Pistons won.
Yeah.
This is one a game. Used to pray for times like this. Imagine that.
41
Bitch about the
kicking
rookie
ass.
not going off for 20.
14-41.
Yeah. Crazy.
They called me a madman.
How much you win?
$700.
Nice.
It
And I
goes
got-
up every time.
On 2 more $700 futures that
what?
are MSU to make the Final Four and MSU hockey to win the Natty.
Well, the hockey one might happen.
They both might happen.
Hockey one might happen.
You don't think MSU has a chance to make the Final Four?
No, I think the hockey one's like more. They need better odds for it happening in hockey.
I think it's the same odds.
Yeah, I disagree.
Like literally, per the sports book, I'm pretty sure it's the same odds.
Yeah. I mean, sports books die every day, G.
And MSU just needs to win one more game to make the Final Four. Or 2 more games.
2 more games.
Yeah.
You got me fucked up for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And
Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
No, Friday night.
Friday night.
But don't they have?
I think they're all both pretty much this equal when it comes to them happening or not.
Back me up, chat. Nick, what's more likely?
I think it's basketball.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think they have a good shot. I mean, I think Michigan can hang with Auburn. So what the hell do I know about hoops? The way
Yeah.
They got a good matchup against Ole Miss. Obviously, you still got to go out there and win, but that's a good matchup for Michigan State stylistically. It's a game you should win.
There's something about the state team this year. Like, even when they played bad, they won by almost 10 points, I believe it was,
Yeah.
in the last game. Like, they didn't have a good game at all, and they just suffocate you on defense. That's their strength, which they've done to Michigan. That's why they look so bad in the matchups against State.
Yeah, we're the
But-
best perimeter defensive team in the nation. Like the number
100%.
one perimeter defense in the country.
And-
So
That's on tape, too.
yeah,
What is it,
Not
big?
just advanced analytic.
No,
Like, you
that's-
you
yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
But on the game, it's very visible.
it's because all 4 of our guards
That's
defended
eye
at an
test.
extremely high level.
Yeah.
and Cohen Carr is probably the most switchable player in the nation. He's all over the place hustling. Our bigs get out and they put pressure on opposing teams' bigs. Frankie Fiddler is a very versatile defender as well. So
Big money Trey. Sniping threes.
You're going to need them.
got to get past Auburn first.
Definitely
Just like
gonna
we
be-
got to get past Ole Miss first. You know, nothing's given in
Yeah.
the tournament. And Ole Miss is on a heater. Like, this is like unstoppable force meeting an immovable object kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is shooting 50% from 3 so far in the tournament.
Don't love that it's Chris Beard for you guys, because we both saw him just take out. I believe he took out Michigan. Following game, took out MSU.
Yeah.
I think it was Elite 8 and Final 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it went. Yeah, Chris Beard's a hell of a coach.
Very good coach. Mm-hmm. Also a terrible person, but doesn't matter. He's a good coach.
Yep. Yeah,
Why?
doesn't matter in sports.
He is.
If you're a bad person, as long as you didn't kill anybody, you're going to coach again.
And even honestly, maybe if he killed somebody.
Shout out Ray
Yesterday,
Lewis.
Chris was
No.
telling me about the rule of thumb. I didn't know it was a thing. Chris was saying back in the day they had the rule of thumb where you could beat your wife with a switch no bigger than your thumb.
That is the rule. That's what the rule of thumb means. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, Chris was telling me about that yesterday.
You're welcome.
Because his
Crazy
girl was
Chris.
talking about marriage, and he was like,
Knowledge.
as long as we abide by the rule of thumb. Because he's built like Abraham Lincoln.
That's crazy,
That was-
Chris.
that
Let's
was-
go.
that
On
was
that note, let's go to
definitely-
break. Tell us about Mark White, Eazy.
Yeah. If you need a new home,
Mark White gonna do you right. Mark White gonna change your life. Give him a call today at 248-290-8242. Visit on markwhitesales.com. You can save you up to $5,000 on the closing costs of your new home. Just dial them up, 248-290-8242. Visit them on markwhitesales.com.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness, the home of the judgment-free zone, where we mean everybody can get a full-body workout in 30 minutes. All memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $15 a month. Upgrade to the Black Card and get used to amenities like hydro massage, total body enhancement, and access to over 2,500 locations worldwide. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where fitness is essential. Mark White.
What up, though? And welcome back. I'm about to hit the studio with that joint. You feel
Hell
me?
yeah.
Mark White. Hey.
Mark White's gonna do you right.
Best ad read of Woodward Sports history is the Chili Peppers for sure.
Yeah. I'm a what, man?
Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, share the
Damn,
stream.
let's go. That was a long time ago.
It is a
$5?
long time ago, man.
It's like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck, we're getting old, dude.
What was
I
that
was
one?
fucking, I was 25 when I started at Woodward.
Damn.
That's crazy, isn't it?
34 now. That's
Yeah, now I'm
crazy.
70 years old.
Hey.
I was
Once
still.
I'm 60 years old. Oh.
That's crazy though.
That is brazy.
4 years flies by.
They do fly by. Did you have a chance to listen to the clip I sent?
The James Edwards one?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I can listen to it right now though.
now is your opportunity. Get Slack ready, actually. Open up in Slack.
Yeah, I'm
and
about to
listen
play
it
at the
fast.
same time.
We, obviously,
Bootleg.
we started a narrative here. Devin Booker to Detroit. I'm not sure that we started. I think everyone just kind of just thinking that because he's every time out and about, you can see him with some Detroit gear.
Yep.
He cried when the Pistons didn't take him, and now things
Do
aren't
we
working
really
out in
want that on our
Phoenix.
team though?
Do we want what on our team?
Someone who cried. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I do, yeah.
Baby. No. I like you, Devin Booker. It was a joke.
Shout out to Vinny Goodwill, Detroit native, and shout out to James Edwards from The Athletic, Flint native. They went on the Yahoo Basketball podcast, and they talked about the Devin Booker acquisition, the possibility of it, and this is what they had to say.
I always kind of likened it to how people talked about Devin Booker early on. Like, oh, this dude's just good stats, bad team guy. I'm like, no, both those guys are nice. Like, they are both very nice.
I think Cade's ceiling is a lot higher.
Oh, no, for sure. For sure. And they might be teammates.
I knew you were going to go there. I don't think they should do that. Hey, we just talked about teams making like all-in moves when they're not ready. And I love Devin Booker. But I think it's too much profile duplication. If it's Cade and Devin Booker, two guys who operate from the same spots on the floor, neither one of them are supreme athletes, and they're both ball dominant. And you're being a super athlete means I'm making defenses so uncomfortable that I'm creating shots for everybody else. They can both operate, but I don't think they necessarily operate well together.
I respect Vinny Goodwill. He's been doing it a very long time. respect James Edwards, but he's kind of like the OG to James Edwards, who was very great himself. I don't agree. I mean, obviously, you guys know I don't agree. But I do think it is a little too early to force the move. I don't think you've proven yourself to be close enough to make that type of move, considering of what you would have to give up at this point. I don't agree to the point they wouldn't fit, though. I think it's a perfect fit. I think it's an ideal fit. You got Cade who's going to go inside, and you got Booker who's going to shoot the outside.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely a perfect fit. You look at Devin Booker's best years are when he was playing with Chris Paul. So, like, having a playmaking point guard that can get him the ball in his spots will make it much better. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, the exact same scenario you said was Chris Paul and Devin Booker.
Yeah,
and they went to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and you look at like what Cade is doing with Malik Beasley right now, and I love Malik Beasley, but like imagine if that was Devin Booker, who is an All NBA Malik Beasley.
Mm-hmm.
But
and you still got Bees coming off the bench.
Yeah, and you still got, but like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. It's the timeline thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they are ready for that all-in move yet. The Pistons are trending that way for sure. I think if you have Devin Booker, it makes you going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I could see you going to the Eastern Conference Finals this year if you had Devin Booker and added him to this team right now.
Yeah.
But that's a move you make when you're ready to win a championship. That's a move you make that pushes you over the edge. And
I think you got to wait for it to present itself. You can't force it.
Yeah.
Because if you force it, you end up giving up fucking everything.
And this is kind of forcing it a little bit.
A little bit.
I mean, it's kind of aligning.
It's got to be Devin that wants out. He has to come forth and say that. They have to have that conversation. It can't be us knocking on the door, because then we'll be the ones giving up everything, emptying the pockets. Yes. Like, I think when the Lakers traded for AD, I thought that was a little bit ridiculous, although AD already wanted out. But I think when the Knicks traded for Melo, these guys want out either way. Like, let them force their hands the way Jimmy did. I don't even know what the return was for Jimmy.
It was
Andrew Wiggins and
not a lot.
Moses Moody and a pick,
and a first.
Right? He forced his way. I mean, in the NBA, it's guaranteed money, so it could be that way. If Devin really wants to be out of Phoenix, I think he wants to come home. Obviously, coming home would be a winning situation, too, that he's not in currently with the Phoenix Suns. He's been there long enough to just pull the plug, give up. Come on home, baby. Come on home. But you can't force it. You can't be the one to initiate the conversation. You got to have Devin have that conversation with him first.
Yeah,
for sure. And every time I've talked about it, it's because of the fact that Phoenix is falling apart, which would imply that Devin Booker then wants to make a change in his career, start a new chapter in his career. So that part you're 100% right on, Eazy, but that's always been my thing, is I see the Suns falling, which means that Devin Booker will want to be in a better situation, which would mean potentially coming home and reuniting with the superstar and Cade Cunningham. But yeah, that's the thing about this trade, because I think people have a lot of recency bias because of how bad the Suns are. I do not put that on Devin Booker. And the issue they have is that Kevin Durant is also a mid-range specialist. Bradley Beal is also a mid-range specialist. So
I think it's Bradley Beal fucking that up for sure.
Yeah, Bradley Beal's the one that's fucking it up.
And he was never as good as Devin Booker is when he was elite.
That was an instant acquisition. Like, you have a shooting guard.
That was a terrible. Yeah, that was
what
a terrible
are you doing?
Fit.
And you got no point guard to facilitate
the Suns
any of that.
need Cade Cunningham type player.
Yeah.
They don't have one. Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are an awful fit.
Exactly. And so my point with it is that Devin Booker may look like a slightly diminished version, but it's because of the situation he's in. You put him next to Cade, and you see a lot of the similarities. Chris Paul was also a mid-range specialist, not necessarily a three-point shooter. He could shoot it decently enough, good enough, but he was mainly operating in the mid-range and with pick and roll. And Devin Booker put his best years with a guy like that next to him. So I think if he comes to Detroit, he has all the tools to play perfectly. I get what they're saying in that both of those players are at their best in the mid-range. I get what Vincent's saying. I just disagree on the fit part, because we've seen it work with a pretty similar roster construction in Phoenix where Devin Booker had his best seasons. And I think Devin Booker's a better player now than he was then. I think the situation's just making him look worse, because we talk about fit all the time. So yeah. I think it's a move where you're right. Maybe we are a little too early, a little too premature on it. But if Devin Booker wants out, says, I want to go to Detroit, and the price is reasonable, you just do it. Forget the timeline. If the price is reasonable, if the deal makes sense, you do it. I get not trading the farm for it, but if the price is reasonable, which it
The
probably
price is
would
never
be.
going to be reasonable, though. That's yeah. If
It might be. He's getting up there.
If you
And we got some young guys.
if you could get Devin Booker for bench players, yeah, you do it. But you're
Well,
not
no,
going to be
that's
able
not
to
what
do
I'm
that.
saying.
You're
Well,
not
but
going
you
to
can
be.
do it without the
It's
bench players.
going to
You
be.
don't have to go
It's
that
going to be
route.
closer to what Rudy Gobert went for than what Luka went for. Luka, that was a forced out situation, and they got Anthony
know,
Davis in return.
That
That was a forced situation by the NBA to get
Yes.
Luka to the Lakers.
Agreed.
It was obvious
Conspiracies.
that that's what happened.
I think Nico Harris is actually just a dummy.
No, I think Adam Silver said, "Oh shit, ratings are down. We need to get Luka with LeBron right now." In LA, like that's exactly what happened.
I agree with you, Spencer.
We lost
and I-
another
Watch when the
Big-
Mavericks get the #1 overall pick for the next 2 years.
Also, a really
But
big
they don't.
thing I agree was said in the Woodward Sports chat. Make sure you guys hop in there and smash that like button. Justin Galena said, need a Sheed, not a shooting guard. I think that's a good point. Like, we have a lot of depth on this team right now where it's a lot of future shooting guards. I get Booker, the player, the star. He would be perfect here.
Yeah.
But I also think, a stretch four that is on the caliber of a Devin Booker would be, I think, maybe more beneficial in the
Markkanen.
long haul.
In the long
Those
haul,
are
for
so
sure.
hard to come by, though. to
And
be
they
honest.
are
It's a
very
rare-
hard
They
to
are,
come
but
by.
do you guys agree, like, with...
Yeah, that's what we
yeah,
said
of
about
course.
Evan
If there was-
Mobley.
Yeah, Evan Mobley was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
might
been
be
saying
number
since the
one.
start of the season, look, if you upgrade the Tobias Harris position, this team is a fringe Eastern Conference contender because that you just need a better version of Tobias, and Tobias has become a better version of what he was. But yeah, you upgrade that even more, you are a team that is contending in the East. So that's 100% right. Like I get that. But yeah, I'm talking about when it comes to a deal for Devin Booker, like I would do Ivey, Holland, and 2 firsts. I would do that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
fine
do
with
that.
that.
I think that's a reasonable deal. Is it a home run deal for us? Not necessarily, but that's I think a fair market value deal that I would do given the upgrade that I think Devin Booker brings to this team. And given what I think Ivey and Holland's contracts will be in the future. So I think that's a move that I would do 10 times out of 10. So no, Spencer, I'm not saying trade them for fucking bench players. I'm being realistic.
that was a jump. But and by the way, too, like the Ivy and Holland thing would even be detrimental to you because right now Holland's he's not really playing minutes like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a playoff stretch right now, or a run to make the playoffs. Injury to Damian Lillard, by the way, too. Blood clots.
Blood clot.
I mean, obviously praying for him and whatnot,
Yeah.
but like we may move up in seeding due to that. But what? I'm not wishing any ill will on the man. I'm obviously praying he gets through that. But Detroit Pistons may have a little bit higher seeding of the blood clots.
Blood clots.
Blood clots. This is crazy.
bro. That's crazy, bro. Blood clots.
That is from the
Dude,
pen
life
of
is
Kennedy
on the
for
line.
sure. Either way, like those guys aren't contributing to this run right now.
Yeah.
So you add Devin Booker to the mix. It's like an upgraded, souped-up version of Malik Beasley, who is contributing to the run.
Well, yeah.
You keep Malik Beasley in that situation, or at least I would try to.
Yeah,
I guess
of
you
course.
could shut up if you needed to. 'cause
Like I
you
said,
already
it's
inherited
not.
Devin.
I don't think they're trading for Devin Booker right now. And
No, you can't even trade right now.
yeah, like I don't think they're going to trade for him over the
I don't
summer.
think the earliest it would happen would be next deadline. It wouldn't be the off season.
Yes.
It would be at the deadline.
Yes.
The earliest. And again, I'm not even necessarily calling for it. I think they have to prove themselves to be in that situation in this playoff run. But even then, you probably still do want to see what you have in Ivy, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. They also discussed their number 2 on this team, and I think they both agreed on Asar Thompson, which I'm here for too. You know,
Currently,
I don't really know the context of the conversation where it projects or currently, but
Yeah.
I would think it was more of a projection than anything. Yeah. I mean, Ron's got to grow. He can be there. He's definitely got the potential.
yeah. I mean, they both have to grow if
Yeah.
they want to be number 2s.
But I think at least Asar's offering you like the elite defense, where Holland's got to grow in an elite something.
You have to, if you're number 2, you have to be able to score.
Agreed.
Like, Asar is fantastic and would be an elite role player if he is what he is right now. But to be a number 2 on a championship team, you need to be better than what Asar is now, which he has all the potential to be for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
I've always said Asar would be your third best player, but your second best player, but your third. Wait, no, sorry.
Your
I
third
mixed it
best
up.
player, but second
Yes.
most valuable.
Yeah, second most valuable. Exactly. Thank you, Eazy, for helping me with that. Because I look at, souped up Sean Marion in Phoenix, right? Like Amari and Nash were the 1 and 2, but Sean Marion was absolutely essential.
All right, I see what you guys are saying.
And definitely I think if you take away Amari, you can win. You can win just more games than if you took away Sean Marion and just ran with Nash and Amari. Like, I think that Nash is the type of guy that can make any big good, just like I think Cade can make any big good. So I think Sean Marion for Asar is a good thing, where he's like your second most important, but your third best player.
Yeah, he'd be like Dennis
But
Rodman.
he wouldn't be your number 2 scorer. No way.
Like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
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 There's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with that. I mean, nobody's hating on it.
Yeah. But Dennis, you wouldn't call a number 2. You
But
called Scotty
all of them,
number 2.
all of those players, Asar, Duran, Ivey, Ron, they all have to take steps, and they will. They're young. Like, nobody's like, you have to get better now. Like this, it's amazing what we're seeing out of them.
Yeah.
We're
but
getting
to be a
greedy here.
championship team, those guys have to elevate, and they all project to. I don't think that any of them are capped at who they are as a player. They're all still extremely young, so I expect them to take steps.
It's such a beautiful conversation to be having, considering where we were last year.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's still kind of like
We are getting kind of greedy.
I've gotten it's crazy like how fast we've gotten over just the amazement of the jump we've made.
Dude, like,
into all right, title contention.
Yeah, we're gonna
what
be
we gotta do.
We're gonna be pissed if we lose in the first round. Can you believe that? We were fucking
not.
14 wins last year.
I'm kind of expecting.
I know,
it.
but
I mean, I'll be pissed. But
Easy.
no, but
Come
I
on,
know.
expectations change, brother.
brother, it's a
Come
young
on.
team. Young
Come
team,
on.
6 seed right now.
Young
Buy
teams win
in.
all the time. What about the Hawks? We can be that Hawks team.
Who they beat? New
They
York.
went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I was just telling my friend
Yeah.
that we are not that Hawks team, but here. But
Well, would you rather have Cade Cunningham or Trey Young?
easily
Come on,
Cade?
Chris.
Cade.
But easily Cade. But I'm just saying.
I'm
Trey
very
got
excited
hot,
to see what
Cade will
happens.
get hot.
I would love to make the finals. I don't know what you're telling about your friend, but I would love to make the Eastern Conference Finals.
I would love to. I'm just not calling it. That's the
Yes.
thing. That's the thing. I think we're so quickly removed from
What's the
14
difference?
wins.
Why are we not that team? We have an elite guard that is young. We have 2 very athletic, good defensive wings, and a shot blocking, rim running center,
We have a team
and
that
and a fantastic coach.
the
to go
NBA,
to
the
the finals or
NBA.
win the series.
The Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay,
You don't have a number 2.
Neither did the Hawks. That's why they lost.
Who they had? Trey Young. They had Hunter.
They had Hunter. They had Trey Young. They
I'd say
had
Hunter was their 2.
Real
John
quick,
Collins.
Real quick, real
John
quick.
Collins.
and
was
they had Clint Capella.
real,
And so, like, that core compared to Cade, Asar, Jalen Duran, Tobias.
I would say they're probably still better suited to be-
the Pistons. I'm not calling for it, but I'm just saying I don't think that Hawks team is any better than what the Pistons are
Who's
right
our
now.
John Collins?
okay.
Tobias
Asar Thompson?
Harris, baby.
Like John Collins, a lot more consistent of a scorer.
Yeah, well, you got Tobias. To
We don't
score.
have that too, dude. I don't
Asar's
think
the
it's
two.
happening.
All right. So
He's not at John Collins level. I just said that.
I think Tobias could be the 2 in the playoffs. I think he's been the 2 scoring wise for the stretch. run
Tobias
they've
is
had.
like in the playoffs. He turns down
Yeah.
Homer Simpson.
I think we have to. I think we have to make sure Tobias doesn't know it's the playoffs. I think
yeah,
that's-
he's got.
I think
he's
that's
got to
the
let him
key.
think. Like,
I'm just saying.
the plane's just stuck in
I'm
Milwaukee.
I'm not saying that this team's going to do it or this Pistons team's going to do it, but this Pistons team is just as talented as that Hawks team was.
I
So
don't agree.
where
It's a fine run you can go.
I think Cade's more talented than Trey, but
And I think
team
Jalen
overall-
Duran's more talented than Clint Capella. And I think the combination of Tobias, Malik Beasley, and Asar Thompson is more talented than John Collins and DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, I don't agree.
And-
With what?
We'll be proven wrong if it happens. I guess.
You think Collins and Hunter are better than
I
Asar,
think
Tobias,
Collins.
and
I think
Beasley?
Collins. Yeah, offensively, a lot more consistently than any of those guys.
I mean, Tobias has been extremely consistent offensively all year this year.
And come playoffs, he disappears. That's like a trait of his throughout his career.
I'm also looking at this too, like in that situation, that hypothetical. There's a few things. Like this Pistons team is really good, but I do think it will be able to look a little one-dimensional in the playoffs because so much of it is primarily on Cade. And I know that was the same with Atlanta, but Atlanta had a little more wrinkles in their offense. They had Bogdan Bogdanovic and things like that to mix up. Where I don't know if the Pistons are going to have those wrinkles and counters. And 2. The other thing is they had an incredibly easy road. They had a Knicks team that had never been there and was hurt, and they had the 76ers, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, playoff catastrophes.
Yeah, so kind of like a Knicks team that's banged up right now and a Bucks team that just lost their starting point guard.
Well, you wouldn't play the Bucks, you'd play the Cavs.
Wait, what year did they go to the
In
conference
round
finals?
2, though, that's what, like.
Are you or actually
We're gonna
play,
win a playoff
well,
series.
right now you
We're
play the
winning.
I'm just
Celtics
saying,
in round
anything
2.
can happen, and this team is not any worse than that.
I also think that
Hawks
NBA
team
is
was,
better.
and
I also
Tobias
think the NBA
Harris
is
in his
better.
career in
If it's in 2015, 2021 they went.
in 61 playoff games in his career, Tobias Harris averages 16 points per game on 35% from 3, 52% from the field, 8.2 rebounds and 3 assists, and basically a steal and half a block. So I think Tobias Harris had a bad playoffs last year, but every year outside of that, he's been a consistent playoff performer.
Consistently, he is not.
Philly
So
scapegoated the hell
his
out of
play
him.
so his
Philly
playoff
scapegoated
career.
him.
Because Tobias Harris has had playoff series in Detroit where he scored points here that may have bumped up his average as probably the number one option outside of Reggie Jackson.
He played 4 playoff games in Detroit.
So let's go. So other than last year, go 2 years ago. Give me his playoff numbers then.
2 years ago, it was 17 points per game.
In the playoffs?
This is his playoff stats for
or
2021.
That's his career playoff stats.
For his playoff stats for 2021 in 12 games, 17 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 56% from the floor and 38% from 3. The year before that, in 12 playoff games, he averaged 22 points per game.
Wow.
He averaged 8.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He shot 37% from 3 and 52% from the field. The year before that, he averaged 16 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, 4 assists. He shot 46% from the field and only 13% from 3, but that was only on 3 attempts a game.
So maybe just recently he disappeared.
Yeah, like I said, he's been
very bad collapse.
consistent playoff performer his entire career except for last year.
I still say that
And that was in
team
6
was
games.
a better unit than the Pistons are right now. They're just too young for the opportunity.
I think this Pistons team would beat that Hawks team in a 7-game series.
I just think the East is better personally. I think the East is better. The road will be
true,
tougher because, like people have pointed out in the chats, right now, assuming you're the 3 seed or 6 seed, you play 3 seed. That's the Knicks. You would then play the Celtics. I think the Celtics are killing anybody. The Cavs. I like us playing just for the storyline, but I think the Cavs would also kill us in a playoff series. So I don't see that same Fugazi path happening the way it did for Atlanta.
I also believe this Piston team, as you've seen all season, in any post-game locker room interview or right after the game, they are so firing on all the cylinders right now. Like, they are absolutely tied into each other's success. They're pulling for one another. It reminds me of last season when the Tigers went on the special run when they got hot at the right time. I feel like that's been the Pistons all year long. There's something about this Piston team right now where the way they are playing for each other, I feel like can translate to I think minimum they win a playoff series.
You've got one of the best players in the league right now. You have a core of young players that play hard defensively, rebound the ball, and score in clutch buckets. You have a great head coach. If that Hawks team could do it, so can this Pistons team. I'm not calling for it, but this Pistons team
You're
is
calling
just
for it
as
if you're
good.
saying that.
I'm saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Don't go kneel on me.
What are you talking
Pick
about?
a side.
Do I think it's going to happen? Do I think they're going to make the finals? No.
Okay.
But it's very possible. If that Hawks team can do it, they can too.
All right.
And I think, like I said, right now, a 7-game series, I think this Pistons team beats that Hawks team.
Oh, yeah, but where you get the merch from, Chris?
Real quick, to put a cap on the playoff thing, Pistons play Cavs this Friday night, and the way they're talking about that game, that's going to be a hell of a matchup, I swear. Like, they're looking at that game as a barometer of where this team is at right now compared to when Garland came into town and won on a buzzer beater. The way they've been already discussing that Cavalier game, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere at LCA for it, and it could be a sign for things to come in a second-round matchup.
I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it.
You should expect the Detroit Pistons to win a playoff series this year.
I expect them to win on Friday.
Pistons fans should expect their team to win a playoff series.
I would not expect this team to win a playoff series.
I would.
I mean, let's go over the recent schedule and teams they played over 500 when we get back. But first, tell us about merch.
First, let me tell you about merch. We got some brand new merch today because you know it's Turtle Day. So new D-Mac shirt designs. We got shirts, hoodies, all of that to celebrate the iconic day. As Spencer Raxter said at the beginning of the show, the most iconic day in Detroit sports history, Turtle Day. So get your new designs today. Again, hoodies, tees, hats, all that, as well as the same old merch you know and love. All teams, all seasons right here at Woodward Sports. Go ahead and click that shop tab today and get some brand new merch.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
How do you think you won?
David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that D-Mac trusts, Dr. Jeff Pierce, here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit him at MichiganSportsandSpine.com or give him a call at 248-426-9944.
What up, though? Welcome back to What If Waits Live before. I'm way too high. Like, that's the thing about these pins. You just so casually hit them because, like, it's in your hand.
I love these boys.
$50 super chats. I'll be right there with you.
You know, I'm not responsible.
I'm irresponsibly high.
Yeah. It's all right, though. Yeah. As long as you're sober for the drive. What up, though? Welcome back to Whatever Waits Live on WoodSports.com. I'm Eazy, joined by some more action. Chris.
Hello.
Nicholas Koloff. Smash the like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. And share the stream.
10:30 tonight. Twitch.tv/SpemORX. Tune in.
Check it out.
Before we went to break, we were talking about, Spinney said, made a claim, you should expect the Detroit Pistons to win a playoff series this year. I think realistically, that's just asking a bit much. I think when you see these young teams like this, I get Cade Cunningham's an amazing player. I think he's top 10 player in the NBA right now.
Yes.
But to win a playoff series in his first time in the playoffs, the Detroit Pistons are 9-20 against teams above 500. Like, it's just like, realistically, when we go up against these teams that are like in the playoff conversation, unless the Knicks fall in our lap, or maybe the Bucks fall in your lap.
I don't know if that's falling in your lap, though. It's right there.
A Bucks series?
Yeah. 5-6 is Bucks Pistons.
Well, 4-5.
And even then,
It'd be 4-5.
4-5, yeah.
But then it'd be Pacers.
But even then, you have a top 5 player in Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Yeah.
who was notorious, a bit of a Pistons killer. We've played him a lot tougher this year, but I can't say expect. Would I be surprised depending on who it is? No, but I can't put the expectation of a playoff series on this team. Not yet.
I expect it. I expect them to win a playoff series with the teams they're grouped around. The only teams that I would be like nervous about seeing in the first round of the playoffs and not expecting the Pistons to win a series against are the Cavs and the Celtics. I think everybody else, Pistons, you should expect the Pistons to win. They have just as good of chance as winning as the other team. And the Pistons are top 3 in the Eastern Conference in road wins this year. So they travel well. They play very well on the road. They're not scared of hostile environments. I think that Cade Cunningham is a top 5 player in the NBA this year, so that is a fantastic equalizer. Like I said, the way they play defense, it's not like they're going to have to turn it on for the playoffs because they're going to have to turn it up, but they don't have to turn it on because they're on all year. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I have confidence that when you look at Knicks, Bucks, Pacers, or Hawks or whoever that team is that the Pistons see in the first round, you should expect them to win. Now, I'm not going to be pissed at them or devastated if they lose because this season is already a success being where they are right now. Mm-hmm. But expectations do change, and the way they're playing right now, I expect them to be on par and to be able to win more games than any of those teams other than the Cavs or the Celtics.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fair expectation because, like you said, they've been on all year. While on all year, only 9-20 against teams over 500. The only teams 1 through 8, I guarantee playoff, or not guarantee, but would be comfortable saying they'd beat are the Hawks, Magic. I'd still probably put the Knicks in that conversation, especially with the injury situation too. Chris?
I mean, look, I don't think the Pistons – I think expectation should be the Pistons don't get swept. I really think that anything beyond that is definitely a home run. I think this team is a good team. I think this team can beat the Bucks. I think it can beat the Pacers. I think it can beat the Knicks. But are you telling me that they have a high percentage chance of beating those teams? In my opinion, no. I think the thing I think we're going to see is we're going to see the Pistons basketball, the Pistons offense get ugly this year or in the playoffs because this year it's been so reliant on Cade, and Cade has done such a fantastic job. But when you have a whole series of game plan against that, and I don't see a lot of wrinkles that this offense can provide outside of Cade Cunningham, I am worried that we are going to see some rough-looking games, and it's going to be hard for this Piston team to scratch out offensively 4 wins in a series. Can they do 2? Yes. Can they do 3? Definitely. But I can't see a world in which they get 4.
So no matter who they're matched up against out of the realistic teams, you don't think they're going to win?
I think it's I think it's possible. So let me clarify. I think it's possible, but I think it's a slim chance
out of any of those guys. If they get the Knicks, you don't expect them to win that series?
No, I do not expect them to win that series unless you're telling me that Jalen Brunson's coming back and he is not Jalen Brunson. That one completely opens up because if you're telling me I have to go against Cat and some wings and no playmakers, that I think you could really, really talk yourself into. But I mean, I'll be honest with you. I am not looking forward to a matchup against Indiana if we play Indiana. They have some pesky defensive guards. They have a team that's built to beat us. Pascal will be an absolute problem for Tobias, has been a problem for Tobias. A stretch 5 in Miles Turner, and they have Halliburton, who is not a great offensive player in terms of his own shot creation, but he is very good at facilitating. Benedict Mathurin, known piston killer, and they have 2 of the best defensive guards in the league in Nembhard and Nesmith. Like, they have a lot of good defensive talent to throw at Cade 48 minutes of pressure. Now the Knicks, they don't. They don't have. We saw how the Knicks play against the Pistons. We saw that they have big wings, and that's cool, but they didn't have somebody like guard-wise that could really stay in front of Cade Cunningham, that could really stop Cade from getting to his spot.
Widow.
Yeah, like I see the Knicks as a far more likely matchup than any of the other ones, and again, Giannis, it's tough to pick against Giannis, but I like our chances there too, but
Pistons are 1-3 against the Pacers this year too.
What's
on top
the
of the
Pacers
Pacers
record
having
against
actual
500 teams?
playoff series? I don't know off the top of my head. I gotta look it up.
How'd you get the Pistons?
I just looked up the first couple months of the season. This team lost a lot of close games early, which I feel like down the stretch that we've seen, this team's been able to win a lot of those close games. I feel like they've grown throughout the season where they are playing their best basketball right now, Eazy. And I think that's why, and Chris too, I think to expect a win, like a series win, is something. Maybe it's a little bit far-fetched.
Do you expect it?
I do. I straight up do. I think Cade Cunningham is the best player on the court unless you're playing the Bucks right now, but I think the way this team is playing...
They're 17 and 18.
17 and 18 versus teams of 500.
I don't know. Maybe it's just I've been deprived of Piston basketball, so I'm a little bit like...
Yeah.
I'm so...
On top of like playoff experience for these teams we're going to get against
I think
too.
Cade's
like
gonna,
the Pacers included.
We've seen Cade with the spotlight.
Nah,
playoffs is
it's different, brother.
Cade hasn't had playoff experience, but Tobias has had playoff experience. Tim Hardaway Jr. has had playoff experience. Malik Beasley has had playoff experience. Dennis Schroeder has had playoff experience.
We're talking about teams that have a starting five, and then the bench unit also has playoff series. We're talking about like guys like the key components of the team having playoff series.
Tim Hardaway couldn't play last year in the playoffs. He couldn't play. He wasn't in the rotation.
But he's played before in the playoffs.
I mean,
I just think that is an important thing for sure.
Yeah.
For Cade and those guys, but it's not like nobody in this team has ever played in the playoffs before. They have veterans that was one of the biggest reasons why the Pistons are having success right now is the veterans that they brought in and helped molded these young guys, including their coach, who has a lot of playoff experience and success. So, I'm expecting it. I am. Am I? Like Nick said, they have the best player on the court unless you're playing the Bucks. They play well on the road. They're good. They're great defensively, which translates well to a more half-court basketball game. So, I'm going to expect it.
I think it's not a fair expectation, but you do what you want with your fandom.
That's cool.
Yeah, I get being excited about it.
People have different expectations.
Rooted in logic, it's just not. I don't think it's like a likely thing to happen.
Did people expect the Tigers to go into Houston and win?
Nobody expected this team to win 40 games. You didn't expect this Pistons team to win more than 30 games.
No.
And look at that. They're defying expectations all year.
Still 9-20 against teams above 500. Like not even double-digit wins in the category. Like it's just different, man. Now I could be wrong. You know, I put the Knicks on there as a team that I think they could beat. But there's only 3 teams on this side of the team that on the bracket that I would say we take care of.
On this side of the bracket?
Eastern Conference.
There's only 3 teams you think they could beat in a playoff series in the Eastern Conference?
The 7-game playoff series.
So you don't think they could beat the Hawks, Magic, Bulls, Heat? You don't think they could beat one of those 3 teams?
I said they beat the Hawks.
Okay.
Teams in the 8 right now. I don't think the Heat are in there.
Heat are 10. But
Okay,
the playoffs
so
are
I'm talking about the 8.
8 through 10. Those are teams that can get in the playoffs because of the play-in.
Well, I'm not including the play-in teams. I'm talking about teams that are seeded like through 8 right now. So the respectable teams, I'd say.
Okay.
I think they beat Magic. I think they beat the Hawks. And then I got the Knicks. The Knicks probably more teeter on the borderline, but I still think they beat them based on what we've seen this year. And I think Cade Cunningham just dominates that series as the best player.
I think they could beat the Bucks without Dame.
Which of those teams, Spencer? You're very confident.
The Pacers is a toss-up.
That's one.
What? The Pacers are the one I'm the most worried about between the Bucks, the Knicks, and the Pacers. Yeah, it would be the Pacers. I think you could beat the Bucks without Damian Lillard.
I think so too.
And the Knicks,
I think it's possible.
Who knows?
Eazy loves Pistons, Spinnies, cornflakes. I mean, I was being realistic.
I still think the Bucks is the toughest matchup because it's Giannis, and we've never been able to stop him.
Yeah, that having the Bucks there is kind of crazy.
I mean, Stu's done pretty well recently against Giannis.
Yes.
When he did
and
crash
remember,
one of the games, refs let them play that one.
One of the games in Milwaukee,
one of those guys that crash out, Stu or Giannis. Is
one of the games in Milwaukee that the Pistons should have won because Ron Holland missed 2 free throws at a tie game at the buzzer.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
So that would have been a win against the team over 500 and a win against Milwaukee.
Had he not been a rookie, I would never let that shit slide. Yeah. I've been bitching about that every day.
Yeah.
In Houston, we lost by 2.
Yep.
That was sad.
So, like Nick said, there's a lot of close games. And close games, I mean, doesn't matter.
There's a lot of close games
Close
last
games
year.
get you beat in the playoffs. But I'm just saying this team's been defying expectations all year. Possibly getting Jaden Ivey back for the playoffs would be an even bigger boost where teams are losing guys and you're getting one back.
That might throw a wrench in the what you got going on. To be honest with you,
and also while we're mentioning veterans with playoff experience, Dennis Schroeder obviously has a ton of playoff experience too.
Yeah,
to go to your point,
you wouldn't just leave the rotation.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm saying to go to your point about veterans being able to contribute in this playoff run.
And in the NBA, I know you don't expect the upset when it comes to seeding because it, rarely happens. But I do believe there is something about this team and how close-knit they are. I truly believe it. You can see it. They're living it. Like right now, it almost feels like a college-type team that's bought in, that's on a Sweet 16, Final Four type run as an underdog right now. They are bought in. This is March. I mean, we'll see what happens.
This is March.
I'm serious.
Yeah, but I mean, look, there's difference between one game and a series. Like, if you're telling me this was a March Madness bracket, I would pick this team in the Final Four.
Nobody's saying that.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm saying it reminds me of, like, that's the
camaraderie.
The camaraderie is fucking insane.
I know.
Yeah, I like that. We're all over the place right now. What does read?
Lady Jane's. Let me tell you about Lady Jane's. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. Stop in, sit down, relax, get a full body haircut. Thinking full body massage. Get an award-winning haircut. Get a hot lather, neck shave, scalp massage, hot towel treatment, all that good stuff. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. No full body haircuts. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports. Woodward Sports is live in downtown Detroit for Tigers opening day.
This one's blasted. Out toward the bullpen.
Live from the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House.
Way back, forget it. Out of here.
Brought to you by Mad Packs, Jars, and White Claw. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Make sure you tap in. Use code word Woodward1000 to get your first bet up to $1,000 back in bonus free bets if it doesn't hit. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports.
Full body, leather, hot towel, neck shave. Mix the following. What up, though? Welcome back.
Candle lit.
Ear nibbling. Yeah. Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodsportsCom. I'm Eazy, Joe by Smorex. I'm Chris, Nicholas Koloff.
Let's go.
Do me a favor, smash that like button. It's free.
Smash.
All right, it's free to hit the like button. Be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream.
Bud Boys.
Now, a lot of you guys,
Twitch TV /
I've been the one pissing in this guy's cornflakes, but you guys been the one pissing in our cornflakes when it comes to Detroit Lions offseason. And finally, we got some backing. The Detroit Lions. I don't know if It's a weird kind of ranking system, and I'll let Nick go over it because he's the one that read the article from ESPN. Top 5 offseason in the NFL. The Detroit Lions. You guys said Brad Holmes asleep at the wheel.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. But according to Ben Solak with ESPN,
yeah,
Detroit Lions top 5 offseason in the NFL. Where you at with it, Nicky?
Yeah, I mean, Ben was feeling that way. He had a different way of grading this offseason than usual. Let me just pull this up real quick. I know we have the Lions specifically, but I'm going to go through how
he said right here, he said he tried to consider everything, not just free agent acquisitions and departures, but trades and extensions and restructures. He knocked teams that signed great players up, but probably overspent and had poor priorities. He rewarded teams that spent little but did so wisely and attacked the right positions. What could have been was also considered. The Browns didn't get points for signing Myles Garrett to the same contract everyone would have, when they're the only team that could have gotten picks by giving that contract to someone else. So it was a net rating of your free agency is basically what he did. And what he said about the Detroit Lions, he said what he loved about the Detroit Lions free agency, he loved the retention. The Lions' lone big-ticket free agent acquisition was DJ Reed, obviously, who replaces the outgoing Carlton Davis III at a $4 million yearly discount. That's a solid swap. Otherwise, they kept Barnes on a cheap deal relative to other linebackers. Ozarike, an ascending pass-rushing defensive tackle who had moonlit as a defensive end last season, and Davenport, who is a good scheme fit but miss most of the entire season with injury. Offensive tackle Dan Skipper is back too, and wideout Tim Patrick. He says sometimes Super Bowl contenders unnecessarily shuffle the deck. The Detroit Lions were wise to keep the band together and continue trusting their process. And he ranked them fourth.
Top five.
Fourth in the NFL when it comes to off seasons so far.
Top 5 and not 5.
How do you feel about that, Eazy?
It's pretty high, honestly. I get it within the context of like he said he put in the word like a power rankings, and the Detroit Lions would be a top 5 team in the NFL. But yeah, I don't think there's a fall off at all, to be honest with you. Maybe if you don't argue that Carlton Davis was a better defensive back than DJ Reed, maybe there's a conversation to be had there. But the Detroit Lions as a unit are still very, 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 very good. Like the team that you saw in the playoffs last year was not the team that began the season that was dominating other guys. You lost Lee McNeil, which is like the lone hope after you had already lost Aiden Hutchinson. You lost Malcolm Rodriguez. Like you lost half your linebacker core. You lost guys in the secondary, Carlton Davis included. This team is still going to be very, very good. That's why I don't understand yesterday, and I get FanDuel probably in it for clicks, but I don't understand yesterday when we see a Commanders team ranked over them.
Yeah.
You beat the poorest version of this team once.
It was for clicks for sure.
You played a real team and got absolutely fucking destroyed.
Yeah. The only teams that Solik had over the Detroit Lions when it comes to offseason rankings. Ad just popped up as soon as I was going to look at it. Were the Bills, the Rams, and the Vikings. Those were the only 3 teams he put over the Detroit Lions. And just for reference, he had the Bears at 15th and the Packers at 23rd. And again, shout out to
Bears 15th.
Shout out to Pride of Detroit for putting out the article about this article that got me to that. And I think this is a microcosm of what I tried to explain to Detroit Lions fans about. They had over 20 guys that left the team last year because of free agency that they need to either retain or replace. 20 plus players. That is extremely important when you're looking at a roster that was a Super Bowl favorite if they didn't die. If the Lions didn't make a move for Zadarius Smith or make a move for anybody at the trade deadline last year and they just stayed healthy, they would have had the best roster in the NFL. And I think they would have won the Super Bowl. When you're losing 20-plus guys in free agency to a roster like that, the most important thing to do is to retain a vast majority of those guys. Now, there are things here and there that you want to say. Did they need to retain Davenport? Could they have replaced him with a different contract? You want to argue that? That's fine. But you needed to sign so many players that you were losing in free agency, and Brad Holmes did that. I don't think anybody thought that Levi Onwuzurike was going to get as cheap of a deal as he did. I don't think anybody thought that DJ Reed was going to get as cheap of a deal as he did.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
The Derek Barnes one, even I know people were freaking out about the number, but when you broke it down, it was really nothing. So I think that Brad Holmes did a fantastic job at keeping the guys around him. Do I still want to see him improve this roster? Absolutely. Does he still need to make a move to push them over that level? Absolutely, but that's what happens in the draft. Right now, with a healthy roster, the Detroit Lions are a Super Bowl favorite, one of the best rosters in the NFL. So keeping those pieces together was an important part of it.
I like the way he did these rankings because to me it's obvious that a team with a bunch of money is going to get a bunch of players. You can do reckless spending, and in some areas, that's what I believe the Chicago Bears did, and that's why they're at 15. The highlights that he pointed out why he liked what the Bears did, it was the Tooney trade. I think everybody can agree that was a very good trade for the Chicago Bears, and Ben Johnson getting a solid interior offensive lineman. What they didn't like about the Bears is that they dropped a bag on 2 defensive linemen in Jarrett and Odengbo from Indy, who they can hit or miss. I wasn't big on either of those guys. So this is the key to me with the Detroit Lions is what I don't love is we still haven't upgraded that defensive line.
Yes.
That's just right now we haven't. So to be at 4, I think is a little high, but I agree. I do agree.
4 is kind of high.
I like that we didn't dish out bad contracts and reaching for players, but I would have liked to see one of those key proven veterans come back on a 1-year deal.
To nitpick, and again, I'm not saying this is enough. I think the defensive tackle rotation is upgraded from last year. If you factor in a healthy Lee McNeil.
Yeah, your guys are coming back, and then Roy Lopez is kind of a dog.
Roy Lopez is a very good rotational defensive lineman. Bringing Levi back in with a healthy Lee McNeil, I think that'll be better. But I agree with you. You still need to make I don't want to say a splash piece on the defensive line.
Just upgrade.
But you need an upgrade. And they're going to get one. They're going to get one in the draft. They're going to get an edge rusher, and he's going to be good. I have the utmost faith in that. And you look at that. So if I told you the rotation of edge rushers opposite Aiden Hutchinson was Davenport, Muhammad, Pascal, and a rookie, how would you feel about that?
Kind of what you had last year.
Yeah.
And last year you said,
except you didn't have a first round talent, a first round rookie. I'll change it to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't know what's going to be yet, but yeah. Now you're fine with that. That's an upgrade if you do get the first round rookie. But the Detroit Lions are a very good team. I don't think anybody should have been tripping. I think a lot of these pieces, I said it before, I don't know if a lot of these guys will make the team.
Yeah.
You just re-sign guys that have been here before. I think there are a lot of key guys you also re-signed too. Tim Patrick being one. I think that's a key guy you had to keep. He was very clutch in certain moments. I think he's a great red zone target. I think he's a great target to go to on 3rd and long. Yeah. And you obviously go out there and just grab it if you're in a contested situation. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I love him, but he's not. I always want to ask him to do that. Mm-hmm. Throw up a 50-50 ball with him. The other piece they kept, I think, is very, very important was Marcus Davenport. I think when healthy, he could be a wrecking ball for you. And he's going to be the guy to clean up on Aiden Hutchinson sacks. To be honest with you, the way they even line Aiden Hutchinson up, he's more so on the outside where he's probably more likely to see the single coverage. And you want Marcus Davenport eating that double team.
Yeah, Wingo. I didn't even mention Wingo, too.
We're going to come back at some point in the season. But he's still – he might be
I don't want Lions fans
point.
to think of the team they saw in the Commanders game and draw your bases from there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not your team.
That's what I said to begin this.
Yeah, that's not your team.
What you saw in the playoffs is not what we're dealing with right now.
Again, I'll go out on a limb and say they won't have as many injured players as they did last year. They're still going to suffer injuries. Everybody does. But you can hope that it's not to as many key players and key components to that defense as they did. I think if you have...
I wouldn't rank them top 5, though. That was... kind of confused on the rankings just a bit, but
like I said, it's the retention of. I think the reason he did it was because of the retention of 20 players, and you didn't give out any bad contracts. All the contracts you gave out were great contracts,
phenomenal contracts.
It's not like you overpaid to keep anybody; you underpaid for some guys. And Derek Barnes, people thought that was a bad contract at first, but when you break it down, it's extremely reasonable for what he does.
Yeah. Steve O'Baby. Easy, good teams with trophies. Yes, they're a good team, but I want to see the Lions hold that Lombardi. I do too. When you lose half your team,
it's
to
not
the injury
easy.
Reserve. It's not going to happen.
The number
it's beyond
one
not
reason,
easy. It's just not going to happen. Like your expectations were way out of line.
Yeah. The number one reason the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last year was not them acquiring Saquon Barkley. It was not them drafting Jalen Carter.
It was the fact they're all
It was the fact that they had 21 of 22 day one starters playing in that Super Bowl. That's why they won the Super Bowl. 21 of 22 day one starters for the Eagles played in the Super Bowl. If the Lions had 21 of 22 day one starters playing against the Commanders, they beat them by 30. So,
if you're having audio issues, refresh YouTube. Is that on our end? Yeah, just refresh YouTube. That happens every once in a while.
Yeah, I think it's just YouTube.
Yeah, we do have to go to break, though. Come back. I'm willing to carry this conversation. I'm surprised the Bills were 15th. I'm sorry, not the Bills, but the Bears were 15th. Because I think they did a lot of good things.
I think I agree, though. I think that the Vikings had a better offseason than the Bears.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could say that, yeah. But from that standpoint, though, like, we didn't really add outside of Roy Lopez. We kind of just replenished what was left.
You replenish? Have you seen that?
No.
If there's one thing I taught you, it's to fucking replenish.
What's that from?
It's like this video of this mom yelling at her kid because he didn't fill sodas back in the fridge. She's like, you always replenish. And his dad, like, pretending to get mad. He's like, God damn it, if there's one thing I taught you, it's to replenish. And then he, like, calls his uncle, and he's on the phone. He's like, yeah, and if you run out of sodas in the
I know
fridge,
you're talking about.
Yeah. His uncle's
Yeah.
like, you replenish them. And the kid's like, God damn it. It's like, very funny video.
Let's go to break, pay some bills, come back, we'll have this conversation, maybe more specifically the NFC North, but Feist, tell us about Buddy's Pizza.
Buddy's Pizza, I can do that.
Well.
Buddy's Pizza created the category of the original Detroit-style pizza and has been serving it since 1946. With 22 locations in Michigan, there is always a Buddy's Pizza near you. Buddy's is the cornerstone of the city of Detroit. They've been here for 79 years and is a dedicated community partner with notable partnerships with local organizations like the Michigan Humane Society, Salvation Army, the Detroit Zoo, and more. Save 10% off your entire order using promo code 10MEAL. That's promo code the numbers 10MEAL. Go find a location near you at buddyspizza.com.
Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge, powered by Jug and Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you win $1,000 cold hard cash. But it doesn't stop there. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf. Third place, 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can pre-register now at woodwardsportsbracket.com. That's woodwardsportsbracket.com. Then, after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket for your chance at $1,000 in cash money and more. Pick by mascot, choose by team colors, have your dog pick. No matter how you do it, go to woodwardsportsbracket.com right now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Jug and Nathan Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Guys, Jars Cannabis, top shelf quality, unmatched variety and price for the people. 27 locations across the great state of Michigan, including ones coming to Grand Rapids, Milan, and Madison Heights. Visit shopjars.com to find one near you. Jars. Yeah, there's this new AI trend where they're turning memes into, like, anime things. Beyond memes, to just historic events. Like, they've done. I don't want to. They did 9/11. They put it into like an anime thing. They did Osama bin Laden. I sent in their group chat. They're kind of cool. Yeah, I guess. I gotta figure out which app that is. That's why today's thumbnail is what it is. But before we went to break, we kind of discussed the Detroit Lions offseason. I wouldn't agree that they're the fourth best, but I don't think it's been a bad offseason. I think it's on track for what the Detroit Lions do historically. Yeah. And like you said, Brad Cook's the most in the draft, and that's still to come. Vikings, though, were number 4, you said?
Vikings, I don't know. The 3 ahead of the Lions were Bills, Rams, and Vikings. So I think the Vikings were 3.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I say the pieces we signed, like, we replenished.
Yeah.
The only addition I think we could really throw out there is probably Roy. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, Stewart, but he's more of a special teamer. Yeah, exactly. So, Vikings went ahead and they've bolstered that defensive lineup big time with Jonathan Allen and Hargrave. They actually added guys on top of the replenishing what they were, but keeping what they had.
Yeah.
So that made sense to be in the top 5. I don't know why we're top 5, but I still think it's a bad offseason.
Like I said, it was the quality of the deals. I think is what, like, it's not easy to replace.
That puts context on.
It's not easy to replace 20 guys in the NFL market that it's in right now, where people are getting paid so much money. Mm-hmm. And he did. Like I said, I think.
Yeah, but some of the guys were.
But Levi, nobody expected
some
Levi
of the guys
to
were signing to have
like
much of a market, though. You know.
Well, I think we all expected him to. We all expected Derek Barnes to have, at least $10 million a year. We expected Levi to be at least $10 million a year.
Shit, I don't know.
We all said.
Did we expect?
That.
I thought we expected 8 for Barnes. I thought we just didn't expect what they got.
Whatever.
Still, I'm not pooping on it. Chicago Bears, I guess. Yeah, if you look at like $16 million for Deo, who's done little to nothing thus far in his career, that's steep. And then you were kind of on the money when you talked about the Grady Jarrett's kind of he's up there.
Grady Jarrett's washed for sure. He's cooked.
But they're another team that went in the interior.
Because they're trying to stop the Lions.
We got to do something at guard, man. But I love Graham. I'm just not.
You don't have faith in him being your starting guard?
Not like I did. No, not after what I saw last year.
I do.
He's bad.
I have faith he'll be a good guard.
So what do you think it was last year?
Like I said, I think he was a little banged up.
Top of getting older.
Missed a game late in the season, and he came back. You know those guys; they play through injuries all the time. And like I said, you put him between Penne and Frank.
That's probably the one position where that's the part where I threw a fit over was Zeitler.
Zeitler is the one you wanted for sure.
Yeah, and I still feel justified doing that. I still feel like you should.
Yeah, I think
address that in some form or fashion.
I think they'll sign a veteran guard. I think, and I think they'll draft one too. They got to draft a guy because they lost both Sorsdale and Yodi, right?
No, I think so. Sorsdale.
They got Sorsdale. They lost Yodi.
Which
I would rather have Yodi than Sorsdale.
Yeah. But Yodi probably garnered a mark.
Maybe
he might come back.
Maybe Manu's ready to go next year. At a not a starter or anything like that, but in a position where you have him, comfortable him filling in if he needs to.
I don't think anyone's even signed Yodi yet.
No, I don't think so either.
So he still
I would be happy if they brought back Yodi. He played very well when they needed him to.
I'm here for that one. Who do you have the best offseason in the NFC North?
Probably the Vikings.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who's your second team?
The Bears, even though they.
What did the Bears do? They got.
I thought the Tooney trade was.
They got Tooney and they got. I think as good as the Tooney trade was, I think the
signings on defense.
The Jonah Jackson signing or trade was just as bad.
Yeah, I agree.
As I love the Tooney trade. I hate the Jonah Jackson trade. So that kind of balances out for me. Grady Jarrett's kind of a nothing burger. I like.
Got Drew Dahlman.
Ew.
Odebo. Something.
Yeah, I put Bears number 2.
I would put the Lions over the Bears. I think DJ Reed is more impactful than anything the Bears did.
That's you just replenish what you had, and
yeah, but you have to. I mean, you need players.
Bears number 2.
They didn't have anything.
So Lions number 3. Packers did nothing.
Nothing.
Let me check. Actually,
I agreed. They got a cornerback, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they got a cornerback to replace.
The Packers signed Aaron Banks to 4 years, $77 million at the guard position. And they signed Nate Hobbs, 4 years, $48 million.
Yeah.
And Mecole Hardman to a 1-year deal.
Mecole Hardman.
They lost Brandon McManus.
They signed another wide receiver 3.
Maybe 4.
maybe 4.
Yeah, probably 4.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver 3 on the Chiefs, so he's a 4 everywhere else.
To me, I believe it's the Minnesota Vikings that obviously upgraded their defensive line so strong. Like, Hargrave and Allen are great players no matter where they are. They're probably starting on any team.
Yeah.
Like, you got 2 legitimate starters in the NFL that are going to help Brian Flores in those edges that they have. Like, that is going to be concerning moving forward. The Vikings' defensive line is going to be a problem. And the Lions, I agreed with you guys. I'm still up in the air on Glasgow as well. He had one bad game, but do I rip him for it like Josh Reynolds? I don't know. I probably should keep it consistent, but he played. I don't know. Where's your confidence level in Glasgow?
Like 6.
Yeah, 7. I would say 7. For what? Being a good starting guard?
Yeah.
I think there's also, like, at this point too, older age, obviously there's depletion, just naturally getting older, and then the health aspect of it too. Like, if he's dealing with some health situations, I don't know if we even, like, if he drafts a guard, which I think he should.
I think he will.
I'm not saying you don't. I think you have to, right?
Yeah.
I'm not falling for his BPA bit anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's gonna,
because you put yourself in a situation you have to make that move.
You're at a spot right now where you gotta get pieces in the draft to replace pieces you're missing. Like, you have to. I mean, BPA is still important, but you're not going to draft a wide receiver and a safety over a guard and a defensive tackle or a defensive end. You're not going to do it. It would be foolish to, I think, personally, at this point. Like, we don't need to fill 10 holes on this roster anymore. You got 2 spots where you really need somebody. And I think you should use, and it's not like I'm saying reach for a terrible. There are going to be very good players at the spots in those spots. So I think that, like, last year, it was the same kind of thing.
Well, guard especially will have somebody to grab it.
But like last year is the same thing with the defensive end this year. Last year, you really only needed a couple pieces on this team. You still kind of went BPA because the draft was so deep at cornerback.
If Davenport stays healthy, you're good. You just need like a rotational piece at that point.
Yeah, but
and that's why Michael Williams makes sense because he's like a developmental project type.
And all of the guys over there, Davenport, Levi, Pascal, AQM, all on 1-year contracts. So you're going to get your guy for the future in the draft.
And real quick, Graham Glasgow, 85th out of 135 guards. According to PFF, that's overall grade.
Yeah.
Is 57.9.
Burn in the Woodward Sports Chat says
let that shit burn.
We were a 15-2 team, and only signed team friendly while replacing guys with similar deals. If we replace Zeitler, we'd probably be top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That makes tons of sense. I'm looking at Graham's best games last year: San Fran, Washington, Tampa Bay, and LA. It was like the middle tier.
Yeah.
He had a rough game against Minnesota in week 7. That's the lowest grade of the year.
And like you know, Brad's saying is you use
partially because of penalties.
What is it? Free agency to fill needs and the draft to get talent.
Yeah.
Either that means Brad Holmes doesn't see
guard as a need,
guard and edge as a need, or he's gonna.
He thinks he fulfilled the edge with Davenport.
I guess on paper, going into next season or last season, we were happy with that. Obviously, you wanted to make a trade at the deadline to bolster it up a little bit. But
Danny G puts us in all caps, and Danny G, if you find this article, that'd be dope. But he says he's on record saying all caps, by the way. So maybe I should scream this one. But he's on record saying you draft BPA when you have a ton of roster spots to fill. Now he gets to attack specific positions.
And I think that's what he's doing too. And like I said, I think it was kind of evident last year. But it also helps that last year was extremely deep at cornerback, and cornerback was your number 1 position of need. And this year, this draft is extremely deep at edge and defensive line, and edge and defensive line are your number 1 position of need. So yeah, it helps that you're not going to be just reaching for bums. You're going to be picking from a selection of very good and talented players. Let's go to.
Sorry, I was looking for that quote.
Let's go to break. We'll come back and we'll keep talking Lions. But first, speaking of needs, we're going to get into another Pride of Detroit article coming back next. But first, tell us about opening day.
Opening day, GrandSlamDetroit.com is a website you guys need to visit to come party with the heavies from 9 a.m. up until game time, maybe even through the game time. You got to watch the game at some point, too. We all know the best sports city in the country is Detroit, and that's why the Grand Slam Festival will be the best party for opening day in Detroit. Check it out, GrandSlamDetroit.com for those tickets at the Detroit Opera House right across the street from Comerica Park.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
What up? Welcome back to Heavyweights. Live on
WoodwardSports.com.
Yeah, dude, you were letting them rip.
That's far away.
Wet, gross.
They're not wet.
That sounded wet.
You say everything
sounded wet.
No, that first one definitely sounded
First
wet.
one was tiny. It was a little ripple.
It felt like something bubbling.
I didn't feel any bubbles.
That's what you say.
I don't know. You may not felt bubbles, but I see puddles under your seat right now.
Tell us about this other pod article about an article.
No, I don't know if this one was about an article. I think this one was from Pride of Detroit from Jeremy Reisman.
Real quick, Big Wolf stats. That's a phenomenal point. I mean, I already knew about Mahogany, but the Manu stuff, I forgot that he played a little bit of guard. So
yeah, Manu and Mahogany are two guys that they expect to be extremely big parts of their offensive line going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm comfortable with that. You just need one more, because you got three guys that are probably on their way out. So you got two that are ready to step in. You need one more.
Yeah.
Okay. This article from Jeremy Reisman of Pride of Detroit was about what an underrated need for the Detroit Lions is in this draft class. Like, we know that defensive line and tackle and edge is a need. We know that offensive line is a need. We know that safety is a need. But what are some of the underrated needs of this Detroit Lions team in the draft class? And he said, my answer, I have two answers. One a little underrated and one a lot underrated. Since most of the focus seems to be on the offensive and defensive lines, I think it's important to remember that this team still has a long-term need at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. The starters are set for 2025, but with Amon-Ra St. Brown's cap hit about to significantly go up, and Jamison Williams potentially playing on an expensive fifth-year option in 2026, the Lions would need to supplement that room with a talented player on a cheap rookie deal. And then he says the underrated need is at tight end. While both Sam Laporta and Brock Wright are under contract through 26, the future beyond that is a bit unknown. He would expect Laporta to get an extension when his time is, but it's fair to wonder if Detroit could improve the tight end 2 spot. Wright is not costing the Lions a crazy amount, so there's a good chance he plays through it and ends his 3-year, $12 million contract. Still, I think that room can use a boost. It doesn't have to be this year if the opportunity to upgrade isn't there in the draft, but I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit spent a mid-round pick on the position either, because Detroit's depth in that room is lacking anyways. So he says wide receiver and tight end. Do you agree with those? Again, this is not dire needs. These are like secondary needs.
I think wide receiver's kind of obvious one. I mean, that's why I would rank third. I guess safety technically.
Yeah, I think safety's
on a technicality,
third, no doubt.
based on who you had in the room right there. But I think wide receiver's probably up there for me for sure. I think the longevity of the position is not in question right now, but will be at some point. And I think there are some guys that could fill that JMO spot a little bit this draft class.
Yeah. I think it's safety, 100%. I think that's borderline a massive need for the Detroit Lions. Like, you have, obviously, probably the two best safeties in the league on the same team. But outside of that, who even is your third safety? It's not Brandon Joseph. It's not Iffy.
He gone.
Savion Smith. Like, who is your third safety on this team?
One.
You know how aggressive these guys play, how fast these guys play in and getting downhill and attacking.
Yeah.
I don't think Brian Branch has played a full season yet.
What was the reason for the tight end, he said?
Just because the depth of that room isn't great, and Laporta and Wright, both of their deals end in 26.
Mm.
And I've already said, I think if there has to be a guy you choose to be the odd man out, I think it'd be Laporta
or Potts.
But
I can see why.
Yeah, I think safety is a need that they should address within the first 4 picks. I think you need a good, solid depth piece. But maybe they like. Oh, dude, I forgot about
There's some good ass veterans just chilling.
I forgot
on the market
about
right now, too.
our boy
Vaki.
What?
Used to play safety?
Joseph, safety.
No, he's gone. Why can't I think of his name?
I don't know. Vaki?
Yeah, Vaki. Maybe they want to see Vaki at safety.
He ain't playing safety.
Nobody heard me.
I mean, who would be the third safety on this team? I think it's him.
This shit ain't working up here.
Yeah.
He said Will Harris. I think Vaki would be the third safety on this team right now.
I don't think so. I think
Who would it be?
to play running back. No one. We don't have one.
Yeah, so if the season started today, I think Vaki would be your third safety.
By default.
Oh, they're done. And the season's not starting today. But, yeah, I think the Tim Patrick stuff, obviously, we don't know how long he's going to be in the NFL. We don't know how long he's going to be performing at the level he played last year.
I'm not worried
Wide
about
receiver.
that.
I'm not pressed for safety.
You can get one of those
It's more
guys every
depth
year.
spot.
You've had 3 of them on this
I think
stretch of
well, here's the
lines
situation.
already.
Here's the difference though. With
Chark?
wide receiver, you're addressing the future of like a guy's gonna like play. Safety, you're addressing the depth.
Yeah, but I don't know if you need to. I mean, if you want to talk about addressing the future because of JMO, I would hear that. I don't
Tim
want to hear
Patrick as
that.
well.
But I don't think you need to address the future in the draft for Tim Patrick. You've seen this team go out and get guys like that every year, whether it be Josh Reynolds, DJ Chark, or
Had Tim Patrick not been cut, we wouldn't. We would have had that position would have been fulfilled.
And there's a guy like that every year.
I don't know about that, brother. I think
Like
we
I
got
said,
kinda
they've gotten
blessed with
3
that.
of them. They got DJ Chark, they got Josh Reynolds, and they got Tim Patrick.
DJ Chark different. That was like a priority free agent signing. But Tim Patrick kind of fell in your lap there.
So did Josh Reynolds.
I'd much rather have
Josh
a guy
Reynolds
on a
was a
cheap rookie
nobody,
deal that's
though.
locked in versus just banking on a Tim Patrick getting cut.
Easy.
year by
Josh
year.
Reynolds was a nobody, though.
I don't know.
He was an absolute nothing burger. He got cut by the Tennessee Titans. That's who Josh Reynolds was before we brought him in. That's.
Oh, Mo
sounds
Norris.
like I'm trashing him.
Right now, it does
You're definitely trashing him.
No, I'm serious.
But another,
You know what I
another
mean?
happenstance situation where a guy had chemistry with Jared Goff, just so happened to get cut, and then you were able to claim him because your team sucked dick.
Right now, it's Maurice Norris as the third safety, by the way. And yeah,
That's right.
Like I said, I think
Morris Norris.
You know, the
Always
happenstance
say it
guy
that way.
happened to get cut. I think stuff like that happens every year.
He was a nobody.
He was out there
But
starving.
if you want, like I said, I think you should draft a wide receiver for sure. That's my philosophy.
We'll work for food sign.
I just think I would put
I put the future
offensive
of the
line,
receiver
defensive
over
line, safety
I would do
over wide receiver, and then probably wide receiver. Because after that, I mean, tight end, no. Cornerback, no.
I probably do defensive line, offensive line, receiver, safety. I guess I'd entertain tight end if I'm throwing extra.
After that,
Yeah. After that, chat, where you at? Gun guy, Golf Maid Reynolds.
Malik Peterson says, no, Maurice Norris is not a viable option at third safety. Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks that he is. I mean, but right now on the roster.
For what the position is, though, it's
right
now
on the roster, he is your third safety.
Tyler Miller, Malachi Moore, lay at safety. I love that.
That's why it's neat.
I love that.
Tracy Walker.
I take the best safety at 28 over reaching on the fifth best edge, though. That becomes the situation.
No.
Because he's not going to. Was he?
The best safety.
How's he get on the field?
The best safety. First of all, yeah. Would he put in Branch back at nickel? Like no.
Malachi Starks.
I would take Shamar Stewart or Mikael Williams over Malachi Starks for sure.
What up?
Would a potential cut candidate, because I know they got a lot of cap situations, would Tracy Walker be a cut candidate in San Fran, and then you could bring him back as a depth piece?
There's going to be a lot of guys cut. Safety and wide receiver, you got your core set. You draft for depth, or you sign an old guy for depth. Nickel, your cornerback room is set. Obviously, your running backs are set. Yeah, I think it's just offensive line, defensive line, and then if you want to draft, and then you should draft a safety and a wide receiver.
If he's going BPA, to whoever made the point of
that would be BPA.
Yeah, like Malachi Starks would be BPA.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't do that. I would trade out and get the extra picks and take a couple swings at the edge spot, at the guard spot. But I got to find that article Danny G's talking about, because I think all that needs to go into consideration when you're trying to think about who the team's going to draft. And if that information is out there, I kind of want to know. I kind of want to see it. In all due respect, Danny G, I'm going to take your word for it, but I like to see it. I made Kristen screenshot Jay and Ivey laughing at the Booker article or Booker post.
Yeah.
Which was true.
You didn't make me. You just didn't believe me. So I had to prove you wrong.
Yeah, so I made you send it. I bullied you into doing it.
Or you could just believe your friend.
Let's go to break. We'll come back. We'll talk something. Tell us about Feldman, Nick.
Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet Dealer of the Year for 6 consecutive years. Get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew for just $199 a month. And you can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $249 a month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi today.
The backs are hot, and the weather is getting hotter. Summertime in the D with Detroit's big hitters, Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Turtle Day. Get your Turtle Day shirts, hoodies, tees, all of that at woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab today. Get that merch for this specific, special, iconic Detroit day. We got new designs for Darren McCarty's Turtle Day, so make sure you get some while they are available, as well as our back catalog of merchandise. Go to woodwardsports.com, the website. Click that shop tab today and get the ultimate Detroit sports gear.
Oh, okay. I read this way wrong. Ryan, shout out Ryan Ermanni, quote tweeted this, and he was being facetious, but the tweet says, Jim Nantz says he will retire from calling the Masters in 2036. It would be Nance's 51st time calling the tournament and the 100th anniversary of the Masters. It would be a perfect place to walk out. Who does that? Yeah, I'm going to retire in 12 years. Like, what, dude?
I'm calling it now.
That guy is the biggest fucking douchebag in the world.
Who? Jim Nance?
Yeah.
You know this personally?
Shit don't stink for Jim Nance. He loves talking about, more than anybody, himself calling the Masters.
What did Jim Nance do to you?
It's every year with this guy. What did he not do? I mean, this is the most insane thing to say ever about yourself.
It is pretty crazy.
He's serious, too.
What did he say?
He said he's going to retire in 2036. He made that announcement. Like, yeah, I'll be retiring in 11 years.
Why do we? I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you even say that?
Who the fuck does care? Yeah, exactly.
Maz loves the announcers. Like, there's a crowd out there.
Yeah, but that's
I don't
that's
give
in
a
10
fuck.
years.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So why would you announce it? I'm just telling you right now. In 11 years, I'm done. I'm hanging them up.
I think Nick's on the money with this one. It's kind of a douchebag.
That is a douchebag thing.
He's a doucher.
I'm gonna just call it now. I'm retired
Steve
in
Lehman
43
says Nick's hair
years.
grew back quick.
Wow, thanks, Steve. I had a bad camera angle earlier, but it started to fill in a little more. I had faith. I said I'm giving it one more go, so I'm feeling good. Thanks, Steve. Unlike somebody earlier in the chat trashing me. It's all right. All love.
Hell no. You hate the chat.
Are you big on announcers like that? I don't care too much.
No, I mean, I just want them to not be idiots.
Yeah. That's all I'm really asking
and
for.
And have a good voice. Can't be up there like, you know. God takes a snap and drops.
Where you at with female announcers? You don't have to answer that question. I was joking.
No, don't get me started. And Brent Rooker, his favorite color is green trees. Have you heard that, lady, dude? For the A's last year? Like, obviously the A's are going bankrupt or whatever the hell. It was the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. Brent Rooker, he takes it deep green. I was like, what? Like, literally, look it up, dude. A's announcer. Smoke some loom and look up A's announcer highlights. You're going to laugh your ass off.
I'm down for this.
There's one, she's like, the guy like pops out, or he fouls off a pitch. He wasn't even out. It was the same at bat. Fouls off a pitch. And she's like, yeah, it's not your day, buddy. Next pitch. Boom. Home run. Gone. I was like, what is it? I don't know. That was just a terrible fucking.
You could do announcing.
I think I would be pretty good at it.
You should talk to Neil.
Yeah.
Get you in.
I had a lot of fun doing
Get you in Oakland or something.
Doing the live watch or the watch parties.
Is that how we were supposed to do? I don't think we were supposed to do
I don't
that.
think
That's
we
just
were
what you
either,
were doing.
But
yeah,
people liked it. I had fun doing it. It's like if there's only 2 of us on there. If you're sitting there with 10 people, you can afford to just not do anything because conversations will just be happening.
Yeah.
But if there's just 2 of us sitting there,
and you signed us up for that.
I mean, yeah. Stig asked me. I said, yeah.
Thanks for asking me.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Want to do it again this year?
No.
Yeah.
We're
down to run it back for sure.
Yeah. No. I got I want to get Bryce into the sports. So I want to sit down and watch it with him.
It's fair.
You guys want to go around the diamond? Nick, you were at Comerica Park today.
Yes, sir.
Opening day's tomorrow.
It is.
What time do they play?
The lineup just broke. Not for opening day.
No J-Hen.
53-man roster. No J-Hen.
That was crazy.
But down there today, there was a big thing right before. I want to just clear the air here real quick before we dive into the players. Where were you guys at with the sign? One of the biggest news. The biggest news today was that the sign got changed at Comerica Park from Tigers in the orange writing
to Comerica
Park because classic, more
25th.
money, sponsorship, everything. And then the other one was the diamond, the pitching mound, the keyhole, the dirt leading up to the pitcher's mound. We were the last one in baseball that had that dirt lead up. They got rid of it completely. Allegedly, it was on the players.
Yeah.
It was the players' decision. Obviously, the other one was not the player's decision.
I like the aesthetic of the keyhole. I like the aesthetic of the keyhole, like of the dirt leading up to the pitcher's mound. But I can understand why players wouldn't want it because obviously the ball hops different off dirt than it does grass. So they'd rather just have more grass and not. Okay, I gotta read if it hits the pitcher or if it hits the little runway. What the fuck? Where's it gonna bounce? Shit like that. So I can understand.
Scoop had one like that last year.
I'm not too mad about that. The Tiger sign that we saw like last week or a couple weeks ago that I sent the picture in of them actually taking it down. And it sucks, but like Neil said it today. He was like, if nobody would have said anything, you wouldn't even have noticed. I was like, yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't give a less of
it's
a
really,
fuck.
really not that important.
Honestly, maybe about either of these things.
Yeah.
I like the competitive edge with the keyhole, like get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Like allowing it to bounce off grass. Like that was a great explanation.
Yeah.
The sign, don't give a shit.
The sign, doesn't matter.
You could put fucking pizza butts up there and still wouldn't care.
Yeah. At first, I was like, oh, that's whack. I'd rather it say Tigers. But then, it's like, I don't care at all.
Yeah.
It's Comerica Park. They can put whatever the fuck they want up there. They pay for
I'm not. It was crazy. Like the Twitter post that we had was like 60Ks. Almost every single comment is about the sign coming down, which is like,
why do people care?
No, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference.
Am I turning soft that I don't care?
No.
You're a logical human being.
So I'm not turning
gives
soft
a
on
flying
ownership
fuck?
being in there today.
No.
Had we
you gotta be soft
had we
on
won a
ownership
couple
now.
series,
you gotta watch yourself.
Had we won playoff series and a home run bounce off the sign or something like that?
No.
There's a memorable moment with it,
No.
sure, but there's not.
It looked cool. The Tigers was cool, but like I said,
shout out to Peaceful Tim, just gifted one Woodward Sports membership.
Shout out Peaceful Tim with the gifted sub,
and Mr. Jiggles got it.
Shout out Mr. Jiggles too. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of a nothing burger for me personally. I know Maz is probably they're taking the Tiger side. They took the little dirt path up
What are they doing, Tone?
Yeah. Come on!
It was great to see Maz in action today.
I love Maz,
a lot of
dude.
connections down there.
He is moving and grooving in those environments.
That's what he does, man.
This New York.
Absolute legend. I want to shout out Maz for hooking it up today. That was a big deal for me to be down there.
For sure.
Just for myself and moving forward.
Surprised you didn't take the baseball savant.
Yeah, Chris.
He ain't tried touching or nothing, right?
I was tending to
Man's a horny old man.
business. I'm tending to family business.
No.
Jay in news, though. What do you guys think about that?
I don't like it.
I think don't like it either.
Bad at defense. Jahan gets on base. Kreidler made the team over Jahan.
Is it because of defense?
And Margot, who we just
Kreidler made the team?
Yeah, that's what they call. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Proper justice. Justin Henry Malloy has not made the team. Has been demoted to AAA Toledo. But one player on this team is Ryan Kreidler, who can't hit a baseball to save his life.
But he can play the outfield.
First thoughts on this one.
That's what it is. Defense move.
I mean, I don't like it. I think you need as many bats as you can in the lineup with the injuries that you've sustained, especially outfield bats. I mean, I know Jahan's not Mike Trout out there, but I don't think he's a liability. I mean, am I just off base on that? But I don't think he's bad enough to where he shouldn't be making the team over a Ryan Kreidler. Like, look what Jahan was raking in the playoffs, dude. I think you need this bat in your lineup. Maybe I'm out of bounds here. Maybe Ryan Kreidler is the truth. But I think we're worse at outfield than we are infield. And if you're telling me Ryan Kreidler is a better outfielder than Justin Henry Malloy, I'm going to have a hard time believing that.
Justin Henry Malloy is not good at outfield, but to me it doesn't even matter.
He's not good, but he's not.
I don't even think he is borderline unplayable, honestly. He almost took out our prize possession in Max Clark.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they punished him.
Yeah.
You hit the fucking golden boy. You're going down.
Yeah, he had almost a 400 on-base percentage, or around a 400 on-base percentage in spring. We needed that in this lineup for those heavy hitters to hit in when it comes to Riley Green, Carpenter, Torres, even Torkelson. I'm putting in that group right now because I'm feeling good.
There you go, Nick.
But you need guys on base. You need them to draw the at-bats. Like, he can give you a professional at-bat. Get the pitch count up.
He was taking some great at-bats in the playoffs and down the stretch last year, seeing the ball very well, making hard contact, and not swinging out of the zone. I don't get this one. Like, I think right now, bats are more important than defense for what this team needs. I think your defense is going to be shit either way. And if you're telling me the defensive acumen of Ryan Kreidler out in the outfield compared to Justin Henry Malloy is big enough to make the gap of bats different, I disagree with you. I would rather the net positive of Justin Henry Malloy outweighs the net positive of Ryan Kreidler on this team, I believe. But AJ Hinch knows a lot more about baseball than I do, so
I'm with you, and I'm shocked because this was one of Justin Henry Malloy. That was one of the first guys that Scott Harris traded for,
and he was great down the stretch last year. He was one of your best players in the playoffs.
I'm shocked. I mean, he must have really did not show any improvement in spring at all. To get Ryan Kreidler, we're doing this again.
I can't believe it, honestly.
We're doing this again.
What did he show?
I think he has a sub 500 OPS in his career.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
worse than Javi.
He's worse
in the last 2 years.
You remember last year when I crashed out because they were like, "Oh, we're bringing up a shortstop," and it was Ryan Kreidler who was worse than Javi. Again, this is the year of he's back. Maybe Ryan Kreidler's back. Maybe Javi's back. Maybe Torque's back. Maybe Mize is back. Maybe they're all back. Burn in the Woodward Sports Chat. He doesn't come back because he never left. Hey now, Torque has the best odds of any Tiger to hit a home run tomorrow. We're so back. 120 wins, World Series bound, center field Ivey. Season is here.
This is when I wish Henry Malloy was on this team. Guess who's pitching tomorrow? Blake Snell. What is he? A lefty. Just Jay Henry smokes lefties. If I'm seeing Kreidler hitting one or not, but I do like that.
What did Kreidler do in the spring? What was he doing in the spring at the plate? I need to. It had to be if he didn't have over a 700 OPS in the spring. I don't think there's anything that can dignify this move. Yeah. I don't want to question AJ Hinch because I love the guy, but this is kind of a head scratcher. No, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. I 100% agree with you. Yeah, but
I couldn't be more out on Ryan Kreidler personally.
Yeah, me too. I thought this was a bad move.
Hey, Charles.
I'm buying into Torque more and more by the day. I'm not gonna lie.
Same here.
He hits a home run first game, first series.
What we call 40 homers last year?
Yeah, 40 bombs.
Back on it?
Right back, yeah, double down. I did call 40 bombs last year, and that didn't work out too well. But no, I mean, like I said, you don't put everything in the spring ball, but it's much better to see someone go out there and have the spring that Torkelson did than it is to go out there and have the spring that Javi did, you know?
And real quick, I said it was a Kreidler thing earlier. I think it's more of a Riley Green is going to be playing left field thing, and that's the only spot Henry Malloy can play.
That's fair.
In the outfield. I think that is
Who's
realistically why
then?
He hasn't. And he can't play DH. Well, I guess Kreidler, but because they do not want to play Green there.
Way, dude.
That is, they do not want to
The first
play
time I
Riley.
see Ryan Kreidler biff a ball in center field.
I think, would you rather see Kreidler or Javi?
Wenzel can play center.
Who is hurt for a month.
And he's out for a month. Fuck. Bierling out for a month. Parker out for 2 months.
Come back 500. Maybe take 2 from Seattle, 1 in LA. Just don't get swept by LA.
Grauman says Torque was just a few short of 40. It's fair.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a fan shout out.
Just a fan shout out. Let's go to break. We'll come back. We'll do some mailbag. But first, let me tell you about Les Stanford. Les Stanford Buick GMC has great offers for everyone. Get a 2024 Envision Avenir for only $299 per month, or check out a 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for $229 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for $799 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick GMC, LesStanford.com.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge, powered by Jug and Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you win $1,000 cold hard cash. But it doesn't stop there. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf. Third place, 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can pre-register now at woodwardsportsbracket.com. That's woodwardsportsbracket.com. Then, after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket for your chance at $1,000 in cash, money, and more. Pick by mascot, choose by team colors, have your dog picked. No matter how you do it, go to woodwardsportsbracket.com right now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Jug and Nathan Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
In spring training, Ryan Kreidler had a 941 OPS, so that's why he made the team. In 38 at-bats, he had 9 hits, 2 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 9 runs scored. But like Nick said, in his career, he has a 405 OPS.
That makes sense for
in 150 at-bats, he has 22.
The way Hinge calls the game. He's going to ride the hot hand. He's going to play.
Yeah, but it's not like Malloy, was it?
What did Malloy do in spring training?
In 2024, Ryan Kreidler had a 369 OPS.
Pull up Malloy's spring numbers. I think it's just, no one to AJ Hinge just from the back half of last year. Just playing it by the lineup every single week, or every single day, I should say. I apologize. That's probably what this is. It may be a move even just for this specific
Malloy had
series.
an 805 OPS.
How often can you option a guy up?
In 55 at-bats, he had 17 hits.
How often can you option a guy up throughout the season?
I think you can just do it as many times as you want.
This may be a move for the series. Maybe a move for the day. The game. Although we're facing a lefty, it makes sense to have Malloy.
Malloy had a better spring.
What do you mean?
Like, Kreidler had a better OPS, but it was in 20 less at-bats.
What's how they play? They play Moneyball. To get on the base.
Yeah, but
that's what happened was a smack out of
reaching. Like I said, is a 20. Give him 20 more at bats, and I bet his OPS wouldn't be 940.
Oh, Kreidler has 20 more at bats.
Kreidler has 20 more at bats.
Or
no.
Oh, okay.
Malloy has 20 more at bats, and he had 17 hits. He hit 309. He only had 1 homer. Kreidler had 2 homers. That's why his OPS is higher.
Well, that is kind of whack.
And like I said, dude, Justin Henry Malloy's career OPS is 200 points higher than Ryan Kreidler, and I think he was one of the best players on your roster in the fucking playoffs last year. But whatever. We'll just ride the hot Kreidler bat, I guess. Kreidler City is upon us. That'll do it for us today. Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure you smash the like button. For Eazy, for Nick, for Chris, I'm Spencer with the Heavyweights. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. Happy Turtle Day.